But first to London, where the Prime Minister Julia Gillard has just arrived ahead of representing Australia at tomorrow's royal wedding. For the latest on her trip, we're joined now from our London studio by Europe correspondent Philip Williams. Well, Phil, there's just under 24 hours to go until the wedding. What's Julia Gillard going to do in the interim?
Well, there are some calls to make, some official calls. She's going to go to number 10, visit the Prime Minister David Cameron. No doubt there they'll be discussing the wedding, of course. I'm sure she'll pass on her best wishes. But also there may be time for some subjects such as Afghanistan and shared interests and shared concerns in other places and hotspots in the Middle East. Then she has tonight a private dinner with Ed Miliband, the leader of the Labor Party here, and perhaps there she might be passing on some hints on how to remain in government with precarious majorities. He's a long way off that, so he may be looking for some hints from her.
Well, I understand that she's not meeting the Queen, but the Prime Minister is going to Clarence House.
That's right, yes, to meet Prince Charles, of course, and no doubt, again, the main topic of conversation there, what else could it be but the wedding? It'll be a bit of a wheel-in, wheel-out affair because he's shaking hands with many, many dignitaries today. She won't have much time, but she will, of course, pass on her very best wishes for the big day.
Do you think she'll have time to perhaps go into bat for the Chaser team?
I'm pretty certain that topic won't be raised at all.
Surprise, surprise. Now, we're talking about the wedding, but there has been quite a serious last-minute change to the guest list.
Yes, there has been. The Syrian ambassador was on the guest list. Now, not because they love the Syrian ambassador, because it's protocol that he should be invited. However, who wasn't on the guest list? Mr Blair, Tony Blair, former Prime Minister, and Gordon Brown, both Labor former Prime Ministers. They weren't invited. A simple protocol reason for that, they are not Knights of the Garter, whereas the previous two Conservative Prime Ministers are, and they were invited. So that disposes of that particular conundrum. But given what's happening in Syria right now, of course, great embarrassment that the representative of Syria is being invited to this occasion. He's just been uninvited. He says he's extremely embarrassed by it, but the Foreign Office says it's not appropriate for this invitation to continue.
How did it get out there in the first place?
Well, these invitations were sent out, of course, before the trouble developed. But you might have thought that even a couple of weeks ago they might have quietly slipped a note saying, sorry you can't come. It has come at the last minute. It's been picked up by the newspapers, outrage, horror, this shouldn't be happening. And what do you know, less than 24 hours before the wedding, he's uninvited. Well,
Phil, last-minute security preparations and the rest, we can see behind you things are fairly busy. What's the atmosphere like?
Oh, it's very festive. People are determined to enjoy it. Yes, there are security concerns, of course. This would be a major terrorist target if they could get through. The police very determined that they won't. But basically, people are looking for a great day, a great festive occasion, and a day off.
Phil Williams, not for you. Many thanks.
Not for me, thanks.